Radical.
Disclaimer before I start this, I have a bit of a burnt tongue, and that might affect the smoothness of my talking, but I'll try my best. I meant to get to this a week ago, but I'm getting to this now. I might have multiple follow ups because this topic is very important to me, as Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite animes, one of my favorite shows of all time. So I'm actually silently cheering that it was canceled on Netflix. It was a swift cancellation. It wasn't, you think with something like this, with the amount of money that they put into the show, with the amount of build up to the show, it would be canceled like later on. But no, it was almost instantly canceled. That's the shocker here. I'm going through multiple lists of the top 10 canceled shows or the top 10 most shocking cancellations, and this is actually hitting a lot of them. There was a lot of money and effort put behind this show. But the problem is, when you actually watch a show, there wasn't a lot of effort actually put into making it a good fucking show. That's the problem. And this is exactly what's wrong with Hollywood right now, is they're trying to, scoop up all these properties and, they're trying to, with these remakes and redos and reboots or whatever, the re, is they're trying to actually appease the audience, but actually doing it in the worst possible ways. This is not a straight up adaptation, but people were led to believe that it would be mostly an adaptation. People were excited. Like, hell yeah, Cowboy Bebop. After decades, finally coming to live action. People were, dreaming about this, going, okay, it might not be perfect, but it's going to be the anime just converted to live action. This is going to be very interesting. No, it's not. It wasn't. I watched 3 episodes, and that's as far as I could get. It was bloated. Bloated. The episodes, I think they were around 40 minutes each, but they felt like an hour. And it was empty calories. I can't tell you anything legendary that happened in those first 3 episodes. And it's kind of like a bait and switch. Sorry, this is going to be all over the place, It's kind of like a bait and switch because they started out, like I said before, the first 4 or 5 minutes, I was into it. I'm like, okay, that's Jet and that's Spike. And they're in a situation where they're bounty hunters, they call them cowboys. And, it felt okay. Felt like things were going to be okay. But things started going downhill when they miscast Faye. She showed up and then they brought in Ein. And I thought that would be interesting, but instead of being an interesting dog that supposedly had a computer chip there, and I need to watch the original series because it's been a while since I watched the original series. Some of these little details I missed, but I remember it was freaking awesome. The way they introduced to characters like Ein, even a dog. A dog! That dog in the anime was a better character than any character here. Notwithstanding maybe Jet, because like I said, the character, the actor nailed Jet, even got his voice down. But that's a problem. Steve just ran all over the place. Because there's so many things to talk about how they got wrong. Jet's a problem, because I noticed in episode 3, I believe, they completely switched around Jet's character. He seems like a buffoon now. He trips over something, conks his head. They made him into like a literal freaking joke. And Jet was not a joke in this show. He was a strong man. You remember the scene where he takes a beer bottle, smacks it over the head of one guy, and then the other guy puts him in his arm and goes, "Tell me more." Strong man. Not here. Doesn't seem like a strong man. It seemed like it's what Hollywood is doing now with taking these characters and making them weaker. One of the worst scenes was, he has a daughter now, by the way, because Jet has to have a daughter. We can't just have Jet be super cool bounty hunter. No, he has to have a daughter. We got to make this a freaking family drama or some shit. So he has his daughter, and part of the plot is he's going to go get this. I'm not making this up. A whole episode was him trying to get a baby doll for his daughter. I don't remember that from the anime. Do you? He's trying to get a baby doll, Betty What's Herself or whatever. And there's a running gag to where he keeps, messing up and the baby doll gets set on fire. And again, he's making these mistakes. He didn't make those kind of mistakes in the anime. He did not. Wasn't a perfect person, but this hard-nosed bounty hunter, this ex-cop, is not going to be a freaking buffoon to make those kind of mistakes. The worst part of this, it continues on for it seems like forever, but then it culminates when he gets to his ex-wife, and he has a dog. I mean, I'm just going to give this shit away because you will need to watch this. He winds up actually taking a better gift to the daughter, which was Ein, the dog. I'm thinking, well, Ein's not going to be in the show? Well, apparently, he has to take Ein back. The daughter loves the gift, but because Mommy, the ex-wife, berates him and says, you know how much taxes are on a dog? We can't have a dog. And then he's like, oh, shucks, I gotta go now. So you have like him being berated by this woman, and that's the exact opposite of Jet's character. So again, what Hollywood does is it takes these strong male characters and it has them berated by these stronger female characters. You see the narrative here? Then I noticed a scene that wasn't in the anime. I don't remember this from the anime, to where they go to see a mistress, and funny kind of scene where she's actually spanking one of the males. But this sets up with the narrative, this theme of, strong women, and she's spanking this male and he's barking, which is admittedly, it's kind of funny. There are some elements that I got a chuckle from the show. Doesn't mean it's not terrible, but it was kind of funny. And then you have Spike, somehow, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but he's talking about how Jet, this is a mistress, she should be respected or something like that. It's hard to describe, admittedly, because I was like kind of checking out. It was late at night, but that just like struck out to me that there seems to be, the characters are not the characters. And I care about this. I care about this because I love the original anime. I was looking forward to this, as many people were. And I think the voice actor, Steve Bloom of Spike, doesn't seem to, even care about the original anime, because he's talking against all the haters of the show, saying, how about you get out there and you create something? That's just really sad to see. It is. And I wonder how many of these original creators just are not going to be honest. So that's the saddest thing to see, is this voice actor Steve Bloom not actually coming out and berating it also, like it should have been. Not the actors and actresses, because, John Cho and them, they're trying their hardest. But I think the correct way to criticize this, if you were actually involved in the original show, is to say, well, the writing was terrible, and the actors and actresses, they tried their best. And they did try their best. Even Faye, that actress, she's a good actress. I can tell she's a good actress. But she's doing this wrong. And I wonder how many of those three main actors and actresses actually watched and loved the original. I wonder if they did. Or if they just wanted to come and collect their paycheck. Because if I was one of those actors and actresses, I would stand up and say to the director, no, this doesn't happen in the anime. This wouldn't happen in the anime. What are you doing with this?